Pour en venir à la fin de cette partie, vous avez été très éloquent quand vous avez parlé à la fin de votre présentation des conflits pouvant exister entre les principes universels mondiaux et l'universalité de l'application de ces mêmes principes. De manière rétrospective et sans vouloir vous embarrasser, quelle est votre plus grande frustration ou vos plus grandes frustrations par rapport au processus? Où pensez-vous que quelque chose aurait dû être fait qui n'a pas été fait, ou quelque chose aurait dû être fait de manière différente à une vitesse différente?
Le plus grand regret, parce que ça a handicapé considérablement la Cour
First and foremost is the attitude of the United States in the beginning. This is something I deeply regret. It was not the abstention as such, but it was the clear will that the International Tribunal will never see its or come into force. And should it, we all knew that the United States of America would always oppose their exercising of power. You need to understand that the American authorities did not only not ratify, but the President of the United States, and it was Mr. Bush, George W. Bush, to be concrete, the Senate and the Congress voted an American law stipulating that if an American citizen should be prosecuted by the International Court of Justice or be jailed, the American president shall do everything, including military action, to free that citizen. And we jokingly said, well, it's the Hague Bill that we called it. So imagine you would have American Marines trying to free a member of the Special Forces of the United States of America, and this is totally out of scope. And thankfully, with Mr. Obama, he understood what the International Court of Justice could bring to him and the United States of America and people that committed crimes against humanity. And speaking of Syria, I honestly think that it would be really important that the Security Council of the United Nations would refer the whole question of the crimes now committed against civilian population without any defense, and they have a name for this in legal names, by a power in place that exercises excessive power just to keep its power. And just an investigation by the Security Council and then led by the International Court of Justice and the prosecutor would already tell the leadership in Syria he's not alone, that crimes against humanity are not prescribed, and that one day he can be put in front of the International Court of Justice unless he dies first. And that would be a great, great measure and of a special humanitarian importance, and Russia would gain a lot if it would not veto all the time exactly these proposals, and that would not interfere at all with any discussions or negotiations between the government of Syria and its opposition. So I hope that Russia one day will agree that the International Court of Justice shall investigate the crimes committed right now. And for the rest, well, this I can be very brief in my comments. There are some states that have a total immunity for any type of crimes, and even democratic states, crimes against humanity, and I'm speaking on France and for France. When we say, France, it's human rights, I would always say France has the Declaration of Human Rights, and it's not the same thing as human rights per se. We have to respect that text, the author of which we are, but we have to constantly recall that we also need to be in conformity with international penal law. And the members of the Security Council, for all the members, or for those who are not, like, for instance, also China, being a hyperpower, and sorry, Hubert, it's like impunity. It is impunity. And we know that it should be equal justice for everyone, and this is really a sad state. My hope, I think it's quite realistic. I think over time things will evolve in the good way. You see that the International Court of Justice has a role to play. You see the role of a good dissuasion can have. So I think that, and I hope that in the future, the will of the big powers will not be to just cover crimes against humanity because they cannot be tried anyway. And I think that Stalin said that the winners draft history, and it's not good if winners are the sole one that are responsible for justice, but all of us need to do that. Thank you very much.